Hey John, we're back with the fives. This week we're looking at 5 more of our favorite AI creators.
That's right, Kai. This week we're going to just talk about Roxanne Ducharme, Jason Zada, Seiichi Sato, Petra Molnar, and Ryan Phillips.
But first, let's talk about what's trending in AI video.
Yeah, this has actually been a really interesting time. Of course, the trends just change so fast in this space. It's really amazing, and it's exciting too. We talked in the previous episodes about the trend that we were seeing with vlogs, both from stormtroopers and then Bigfoot really took off. And while that seems to be slowing down a little bit, I still do see a lot of Bigfoot vlogs in my YouTube feed. But a new trend is beginning to emerge, and that's the Animal Olympics. So what creators are doing is they're taking an Olympic sport like, say, high diving or or swimming, and they're replacing the athletes with animals such as cats, llamas. I think I've seen elephants as well, and I think it's just a fun sort of meme-ish way for creators to jump in and test their skills and kind of continue the dialogue.
Yeah, this seems to be have emerged with a new release of Halo Minimax's latest model that's really excels at doing acrobatics. I mean, things that we've seen AI videos struggle with in the past, gymnastics and acrobatics. And through that, people discovered that apparently it also does animals jumping off of diving boards and doing other Olympic feats very well. So that's sort of, with every new tool, we seem to get a new meme. I'm Kai Turner.
And I'm John Rogers.
All right, so let's get into it. First up, we have Roxanne Ducharme. She's a prolific, award-winning AI filmmaker who has a bizarre and surreal sensibility. She has a lot of traditional media experience as an animator and illustrator, and now she's bringing this experience to the world of AI video. I think she's a role model for her peers to see that AI is not a threat, but if you bring your professional experience to the tools, you can achieve amazing results. She encapsulates it perfectly by saying, "I don't think artists are going anywhere. If anything, they're more important now. We're the ones giving the work its voice, its timing, its madness, its soul."
Yeah, Roxanne is really one of the most exciting, I think, creatives working in the space right now. She has a really interesting background. She's French-Canadian, but is currently working or based out of Panama. And what I really think is striking is her character design work. I think she's got the best creature designs kind of in the space for sure. We spoke about one of her earlier videos called Winter Hollow several months ago, and certainly worth revisiting on her YouTube page if anyone's interested. But what really strikes out with her creature design is she reminds me a lot of how Tim Burton worked. I had the opportunity to work with Tim Burton on 2 different movies, Frankenweenie and Alice in Wonderland, and I had a really good first-person perspective on how Tim approached his creativity. And what I see with Roxanne is she really is kind of in that same camp with how she works and approaches creatures, with perhaps a slight bit of Wes Anderson thrown in on top.
Number two.
Yo! Krypton 14 here, finally heading to Earth, and this is my vlog.
All right, our second creator this week is someone who's really no stranger to our podcast. We've spoken about him quite a bit, and this is Jason Zada from the team Secret Level. And Jason's really kind of one of the leaders in the space, probably one of the top few names that are really kind of always in the conversation and really leading and testing new tools and really pushing the space forward. Well, what I really find interesting with Secret Level and Jason is they're really taking an approach of kind of focusing on the ad opportunities first while they're developing other opportunities for the film and television space sort of in the background. So a lot of their work you'd recognize from the Coca-Cola ad and other kind of commercials that have come out recently. That's why they're always getting first stab at the new tools.
Yeah, Jason and Secret Level consistently release great work, like you said, John. What I admire about them in this space is where everyone is experimenting with these new tools. They tend to release fully formed shorts, short films like The Heist, and little experiments like the Alien Vlogger and Golden Sakai, which shows the state of the art in AI animation, but they're still creating more or less a full vignette or a story around it. They're also doing a lot of commercial work, as you mentioned, and we see a lot of groups celebrating kind of who they've signed as artists, but Secret Level just continues to show, not tell, in their approach, and continues to deliver great work.
Number three.
Next, we're going to talk about Seiichi Sato, also known as Aratama. And he's an artist who really specializes in pushing the bounds of the anime style of AI video. I enjoy watching his experiments, and he seems to have a similar background to mine, coming up through product design and strategy, dabbling in Web3, and now pushing ahead in generative AI. He's done a short film which we featured previously, and he's definitely someone to follow if you want to see the latest developments in the Japanese anime style aesthetic.
Yeah, I like to think of Seiichi as really working in kind of two areas, certainly primarily focused on the anime style. And I really love the anime because it has a little bit of that late 80s heavy metal sort of feel to it, and really reminds me of my youth and some of the favorite stories and shows I consumed when I was younger. So it really definitely takes me back there. But also, Seiichi is working in some live action content as well, a little bit more experimental on their YouTube page. And I think it's really interesting because they're based in Tokyo, and you really get this sense of the cultural influence of Tokyo in Seiichi's work, and that's a little bit different because I think a lot of the other creators, while they're certainly a global space, we don't seem to have as many voices breaking through out of Japan as I'd like to see. So I really appreciate Seiichi as one of the leaders out of the Japanese creative community.
Hey, diddle diddle.
So our fourth creator this week is Petra Molnar. I don't think we've featured Petra before on the podcast, Kai, but what's really struck me with Petra's work that I've been following is that this aesthetic that she uses around, I might think of it like more like a Coco Melon kind of style, very accessible for younger viewers and audiences, which as a father of a 10-year-old, I deeply appreciate. These are the kinds of videos that my daughter loves and really sits down and we watch together. So I appreciate that we have creators kind of working in this area of the industry.
Yeah, I first found out about Petra when we were both intrigued by this Morpheus Leap challenge set by John Gaeta. But also I'm a fan of the work she's done in children's animation, like you say. And she's done some work with Michael Menes, who's a talented music producer who's also active in the AI video space. Petra has a kind of toyetic sensibility with her films and experiments, which lends itself to the kids space. And you can tell she cares about her work, which makes it stand out in the kids space as well. It's just fun and lighthearted, and she has a unique papercraft aesthetic that stands out. She's also done some sci-fi experiments too, like Echoes of the Obelisk. So I think she's definitely one to watch.
Number 5.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go.
Finally, we have Ryan Phillips, who goes by Uncanny Harry, and Ryan is kind of an OG in the space. He brought his broadcast background to experiment with AI video pretty early on, and thanks to his professional eye, he was doing high-quality work before there was even an expectation of that standard of quality, so his work stood out and continues to stand out. Ever evolving with the tools, he recently re-released one of his short films, Cold Call, which he made in 2023, and updated it with entirely modern tools in 2025. It was pretty impressive in 2023, but it definitely demonstrates how the tools have developed in that short amount of time. Again, it's great to see his commitment to release the entire film and not just an experimental clip. I'll keep banging the drum on this, but more creators need to complete their shorts to push the space forward.
Wait, what the fuck are you doing here?
Charming.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've discussed Uncanny Harry here. I think we discussed some of his videos in the very early days of our podcast, Kai, and that rewinding all the way back 6 months ago or so. But yeah, Uncanny Harry really hit my radar back when he released a video called A Girl and Her Cat, and he had done it, I believe, under several different tools. So as they evolved, he updated it to really give an evolution of the tool sets. He hasn't done that recently. But A Girl and Her Cat has always stuck out to me as some of his best work and really what put him on my radar. And he's definitely one of the leading voices in the space. You know, when I talk about like that top group that are really kind of getting those early look at the tools to really do the early content development and showcase videos, he's definitely on that list. So someone definitely worth following.
Thanks. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.